everyone. How are you? Hope you guys are having a good time here. Today we'd like to give you some idea how we practice to develop our basic skill. I don't want to talk too long. We have so much to show you downstairs. So now I'd like to introduce our staff. They will explain some more things. First, we have Warren Nishikawa, our manager. He's also a performer. He plays Taiko, also shakuhachi. And then we have Vivian Seki and Judy Giverson. They are our instructor. And then we also have James Sen. He's our public relation. And I really like to mention about our Fue and shakuhachi teacher. He's been teaching us for over 10 years. His name is Masakazu Yoshizawa. I'm pretty sure some of you know about him. Unfortunately, he's not here today, but anyway, those are our staff members that I'd like to mention. Okay, Warren? Oh, Jude. I'm sorry, Jude.
Good morning, everyone. I'd just like to give you a sort of brief overview of the background of our group. We started in 1986 and originated as a Sunday school activity under the direction of Reverend Nobuyoshi Fukushima. And at that time, we were being taught by Reverend Tom Kurai of Sozenji, where we learned the basic Matsuri rhythms. And about a year later, Onitazan, world-famous Taiko group from Japan, came over to Los Angeles for a tour of the United States. And at that time, we had the opportunity to learn from them and learn their theatrical style of playing. And after that, pretty much, we had the opportunity to perform with them at various local venues. And a few of the selected members in our group were able to travel abroad with them. Since then, we've had the opportunity to perform for the Los Angeles Marathon, the World Cup soccer ceremonies, the J. Paul Getty Museum, members of Japan, and so forth and so on. And since then, we've had the opportunity also to travel to Canada, to Japan, and more recently Hawaii. In September, we'll be going to St. Louis, Missouri. And maybe just a little age range of our group. They range from about 9 years old to 29. That's a little history. And Warren will continue with the agenda, basically an overview of the workshop.
Good morning again. Welcome everyone again to Shuji. I'm the 29-year-old, so if you guys are wondering, and you can call me the old man of the group. But what I'd like to do is just give you an overview, kind of a schedule. I hope everyone has kind of an agenda. We put one together that if you don't have one, please ask any one of our members. Can you get a couple more agendas, please? And over there. Thank you. So we're going to begin upstairs here in the Hondo, and we want to demonstrate and actually have you interact and also perform a Zazen meditation, because it plays a big part of our group and how our group philosophy is based in terms of our performance and training. So we're going to be doing that right now up here, and then we're going to be doing our Taiko training downstairs, which we do in our basement every Friday night and Saturday. So we basically practice twice a week, approximately for 3 hours. And that the Zazen demonstration should last about 30 minutes. And then we'll go downstairs That's number 4 on the agenda, if you have one. We have plenty, so if you don't have one, please let us know. And that should last about 15 minutes. And after our exercise, we're going to go into our teaching. And we're going to give you information on how we train our members and how they go through a training program and how they become members. And also, a part of that, what it means to be a Taiko member. And then following our teaching method, we'll go into G practice. G is the ground or basic exercise, basically the base beat. It's very important for our group. And then following our G practice with participation, we're going to go into a short performance of a couple of our pieces, and then we'll have a closing, and that's scheduled for around 11:45, 2 hours. So I don't want to take too much time, but I'd like to introduce you to Kojima Sensei of our temple here, and he's going to demonstrate the meditation. So, Sensei.
Good morning. I'd like to share the time with sitting, zazen. And before that, I'd like to explain how to do zazen. Now, for the demonstrators, this coming into the corner, please. First, I'd like to tell you about 3 fundamental hand posture. First one, now they are keeping like this posture. We call this shashu. Left hand on the chest, and left hand on the chest, and cover with right hand. This is a posture for standing. When they are standing, always keep this posture when you're walking, when you're standing. And the next one is gassho, like this. Put both hands together. When you bow, please make a butt like this posture. And the third one is hokkaijo. When you're sitting, you make like this posture. Left hand on your right hand, and the thumb touch together. Then make the form like an egg in your hand. This symbolically, this represents all of the mind on the hand when you're sitting. The keep like this form. This is kind of important things to sitting. This indicates your mind. When you feel nervous or kind of too much stress or something like that, it becomes like this. It comes up. And when you fall asleep or just falling, like this. It comes going down. And just, you don't want to sit or just falling, the comes like this. And then now we'd like to explain about breathing. This is one of the important things to sit. Breathe deeply and slowly. Inhale from the nose, and the air comes into the nose to the stomach. Not just the chest, just going to the stomach. Then just back straight. And now we are going to sit please take off your accessories and watches.
Sneakers, main thing. Like rings and watches.
And please sit just front part of the chair. So, in order to back straight, to make a back straight. Now I hit the 3 bells. That is start of zazen. Okay. Now bend palm up on your knees and bend or sway right and left. From big to small. And smaller and smaller, slowly. Smaller and smaller. And just stop when you feel the center. And make the shashu position. Left hand on your right hand and the thumb taps together and put on your thigh. Now we start zazen. Just back straight. And concentrate on the breathing. Slowly and deep. Until the next bell ringing. Just keep this posture. Now you are completely separated the outside of the hole. You don't need to worry about the schedule. You don't need to worry about the phone call. You don't need to worry everything. Just sit. And just feel the atmosphere around you. Just feel the air around you. Just feel the sense of ambient tone. Just feel the earth. You are on the earth now. show and a bow to our Buddha. Okay, please turn around. And now we bow again to the people who's sitting and share the time with you, all of you. Thank you very much. Okay, please have a seat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kojima-sensei. All right, I want you to be honest with me. How many of you actually breathe, just breathe during the whole time? Show of hands. Oh, really? That's pretty good. Okay. Okay, now how many of you actually thought about breathing? Thought about how do you not think about anything but breathing? How many of you thought that? I can't just sit here and think about breathing. How am I supposed to do that? Did anyone do that? Show of hands. Oh, only a few of you. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, now, how many of you thought, I wonder what I'm going to have for lunch today? Anybody? No? Probably all came in and had breakfast or anything. Okay, well, actually, it's very hard to, for your first time to do Zazen. I'm sure a lot of you were sitting there thinking, oh my God, how long has it been already? You heard, I'm sure some of you are also listening to the clock ticking. Well, normally in the Zazendo, there is no time. Time stands still in the Zazendo. That's why we asked you to take off your watches. It's because we don't want you to be thinking about time. When you're doing Zazen, the main thing that you're thinking of is the necessity of life, which is breathing. And in our day-to-day lives, we're so busy thinking about, oh, I gotta be here, I gotta be there. And we just actually sat for 10 minutes. It was only 10 minutes. But it seemed like forever, didn't it? 10 minutes. And that's how much we do in our day-to-day lives. Is in 10 minutes, we're going here, we're going there, we're doing Taiko, we're doing this, and sometimes it's good to just stop and just breathe. And forget about all your troubles, your schedule, your work, everything. And just concentrate on the main thing, which is breathing. And the way our group applies that to our drumming is, I don't know if any of you have actually seen us perform, but you probably see us and you think, wow, they look so focused, they look so disciplined. Our discipline comes from Zazen. Whereas groups such as San Jose and Oniguza, they run, that's how they concentrate on their discipline, on their breathing, right? After you run, you're just out of breath, but then you play Taiko right after. And you have to know how to control your breathing. Otherwise, you're going to faint, right? Well, for us, Zazen allows us to concentrate on breathing, solely on breathing, and also on Ji, which is the basic of Taiko. Does everyone know what Ji is? Is there anyone who would like to say what Ji means? Does anyone know what Ji means? What does Ji mean?
Ground force or the general.
Very good. G is like the basics, the main beat that keeps everyone going. And so when we play Taiko, that's what we concentrate on. We concentrate on G. And somehow everything pulls together. As long as you have that basic G, everything else falls into place. So in any case, we just wanted you to get an experience of Zazen. This is, of course, just our style of training and discipline, and it doesn't work for all groups. It's just that our group is based out of a Zen Buddhist temple, so we try to incorporate the Zazen teachings into our training, into our Taiko training. So that basically concludes the Zazen portion of our workshop. We'd like to conclude continue the rest of the workshop downstairs. So I'm going to have the Zen members go downstairs, and if you can also proceed downstairs, just follow them. And we'll see you downstairs. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I forgot to mention my name. My name is Hiro Koseki. I'm the director of this group. Thank you for coming. Beginning of practice, we always do voices saying よろしくお願いします。So hope you join us in that.
And we'll begin with doing some the tests that we do. And since this is kind of a tight circle, I'll have the Zendica members step forward.
And then everyone else just kind of spread out and allow yourself enough room to stretch out. Kind of.
And follow. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Basically going in opposite directions. Is that it?
At this time, the Zendica members are going to continue with just one more back stretch. So I guess if you can have a seat, finish that up.
I did exercises with Russell Baba, and his exercises are very, very good. Just really completely stretching, and so that's just our way of doing our beginning stretches. Sometimes we do other stretches, we do crunches, and we do more leg exercises and so forth, but that's just our basic exercises. I just want to discuss at this point how this section of our workshop, we're going to discuss our teaching. And before I go into that, I'd like to discuss how we attain the members, the training and the trial period that our members all go through. Basically, when we decide to do a tryout period, we don't do it every year. We decide to do training when we feel that all of the members are at a certain performing level, because we believe that it's very important to concentrate on the individual and give them their time to grow, and we can give them specific training. I mean, we look at each member and we see where their strengths are, we see where their weaknesses are, and we kind of help them along the way. So we just recently, actually a year and a half ago, did a tryout period, and we have some members of the last tryout crew. Raise your hand. Those are our two newest members there, and they are already able to perform. I don't know if you guys can see that.
We actually have 2 more.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it today.
We actually started out with 8, and they went down to 4. So the reason being is for the first 6 months of training, we do a kind of a trial period. The first 3 months, what we do is we allow the members to really get a good insight of what our practices consist of. We are pretty intensive as far as practice time. We do practice twice a week. We're here until late, and we're here Friday and Saturday, so that's cutting down their weekend time. And
Even at 4 hours each practice.
an average of 4 hours per practice. And what we do is we do quite a bit of performances, so we do try to explain to them that this is not your average after-school activity. This is something that takes up a majority of your weekend. You have to coordinate your homework. A lot of these kids, they do very well in school, actually. They bring their homework sometimes, and whenever we have breaks, they're working on the homework. So, in any case, so the first 90 days, those tryout members will just basically observe and see if this group is right for them. And we'll allow them to start learning some of the basics as well. And during those 90 days, that'll give us enough time to decide whether or not the individual is showing an interest in Taiko, because we believe that's important, rather than having the individual be dragged here by their parents, or, have other types of reasons for coming to play Taiko. We really want to decide if they are showing an interest in Taiko and will grow. So after the 90 days, we will go ahead and screen, and we will decide which members will continue. And then for the following 90 days, another 3 months, what we do is we go into more of the basics, and we allow the members to get into more of the rhythm. And then again, after those 90 days, we decide if the individual has grown since the first 90 days. And if we see that they've already shown some growth, then we decide to have it continue. So, that being said, I'd like to pass it over to, actually, parent participation. You don't forget one thing. One more thing that's really important for our training is parent participation. Being a youth group, a lot of these kids started when they were like 8 or 9, and their parents brought them here. And we want to make sure that the parent stays active as well in watching their kid progress, or their child progress, their kid. And we have to make sure that the parent is here to see that. We don't want to be just like a babysitting type of thing, and the parent just drops them off and takes off. We believe that it is very important for the parent to be a part of their training, to see their child grow. And so that's what our requirements are for the trial period. And then now I'd like to pass it over to Warren, who will talk about some other training methods.
Yeah, Vivian talked about sort of the technical part of the Taiko group performance, but we also have certain principles we'd like to instill. What is basically being a Zendeco member mean? So I guess Zendeco is a little different in the way that it's a youth-based oriented group, and it's always been that way, even though I'm here. But a lot of the members you see here, Judy and Vivian, they've been practicing performing for about 12 years.
13. Don't forget.
So 12 years. So we've all grown really close together, and we've learned certain things. We like to teach the members, such as discipline. Of course, you have to learn discipline to play the Taiko, but we want this to translate into other things like school, anything they do. If they decide to go for martial art or a certain hobby, like hula dancing, something like that. So all those types of things are discipline and focus. And focus is something you'll see in our performances that we get a lot of feedback from, is how we focus, and particularly when we play our songs and the way we project. So you'll see that, and we'll explain that in a little bit. The second point is etiquette, how we teach the kids, I should say members. Everyone's equal here, so just the members, that treat each person with self-respect, and basically try to make friendships and guaisatsu to everyone they meet. And Taiko is very powerful. I mean, I've met so many people through Taiko, and the connections that we make last a long time. And we've been blessed that a lot of Taiko groups that have toured, like Ondekoza, have come, as well as other Taiko groups from Japan, because we've made this connection and really try to establish a good relationship. So I think that's important. And finally, attitude. We always try to foster a positive attitude. It's essential because Taiko is important, but also we feel like being a well-rounded Taiko player really helps the group. It forms a strong bond. So, with that said, I'd like to go into the basics of some of the instruments and our bachis. And I have a set of bachis here. These are the basic sets. I know a lot of groups, they have different styles, so you're going to have different bachis, but these are the ones that we use. And you can see we have assortment of taikos. And these first bachi we call are for a shime. And basically, these are wood that we purchase here, and wood is actually the hardest thing to get. And these are hardwood that we get, from hardware store. And those are birch. But typically, the shime bachi is a lighter wood, such as hinoki, it's a cypress. But those come from Japan, and we have some, such as, well, I don't want to get into these other ones yet, but most of the bachis are made out of cypress. So that's what we play on the shime. And we tried to round out the tip because the skins are the things that that go first because they wear the quickest. So that's, and we have, our character is a little silver strip on the top just to add that to the performance. Then the next set is what we call a shiraiko bachi for playing upright. Shiraiko, medium-sized drum. We have pieces that play that way. And then we have more, I don't know if you call it traditional set type of shiraiko bachi, but for our hachijo performances, we use a longer shiraiko bachi, a little thicker diameter. And then these are, of course, odaiko bachis. These actually came from Japan, and you notice they're even longer and thicker in diameter, but they're lighter, so that helps play some of the quicker movements. And then we're lucky enough to have Yatai Bayashi Bachi. This is played in a sitting stance. I think most of you have seen that. And these ones came from Asano Taiko. So we have basically 4 types of drums. Shime Taiko. We call these our chudaigos. We play Hachijo and Yatai Bayashi mainly on them. And then we have our okedo, the rope drums, which we can tune. We like to tie them, at least once a month. That's our goal. We like to tie the shime. Shime is nice. You could control the pitch, but it's very rigorous to do that. And then our odaiko. Then we have other instruments like fue, shakuhachi, and then the kane, and the kanji. We play that. And we also have ringing. So with that said, we'd like to get started into actually being the taiko. So we're going to go next into the G practice. So this is where we want everyone to get involved. And I'm going to give it over to our instructors to do G. So how many, actually, who would like to participate? I mean, we want everyone to participate, but I know some people are not planning to. So.
There are a total of 12 positions open, so please raise your hand. No,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more? 12.
Oh, we're gonna have lunches for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Why don't you get extra shidaiko bachi?
And what happens, feel free to go to any drill that you'd like to play. Actually, anyone but the Odaiko kids. We're not going to do Odaiko for this exercise.
Thank you. I was wondering.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, if you participate, can you please take off your shoes?
Yeah, when we practice normally, we take off our shoes.
Okay. Alright, I just wanted to explain one thing. We recognize that all groups have a different method of basics. How to hold the bachi, how to hit the drum, and we don't want to, we respect that, so we don't want to teach you our way and say that, you know, this is the way we play or whatever. Because everyone has their own unique way of basics, holding the bachi, foot movement, and so forth. So we're going to leave it up to you to play how you were taught. Okay, your basics is now your chance to play. But as far as the exercise, we do want you to follow. So what's going to happen is we're going to play the basic G, okay, which we're emphasizing. We do G practice every beginning of practice for at least anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes straight. Sometimes it goes longer. It just depends on when we feel that everyone is together. Only until when we feel that everyone's G is one and the same, then we continue on with the remaining practice. Okay? So I'd like for you to get ready to hit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with right, right, left, right, left, right, left. Then you do right, right, left, right, left, right, left. So it's don, I'll go don, doko, 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 don, doko, doko, doko. Okay? And you can choose any stance that you feel comfortable with. Okay? So however you've been trained to do a particular position, especially for these drums, I know most groups have it a little higher. So you could either sit the way Joey and Travis, I almost called you Charlie, plays, or you could stand. It's up to you, okay? actually, now that I come to think of it, including all those exercises, sometimes it lasts for an hour. We play nonstop.
We usually play the first thing that we did is regular G practice for about half an hour.
Okay,
Time just happens to pass by.
like it is now. We will now go into.
If I can just say about G practice, usually when we start out, not the most involved thing, but it is almost the most important thing. We always do this every practice. And the G actually has to be ingrained into your G. And then not only do you have to pick up the G, but know how us as a group, your group plays this G. That way, when you're playing songs, you have a common G, which is the foundation, and on top of that, you always play your melody. And that way, the songs will be constant G, and they don't speed up, because a lot of songs, when we play...
Kind of goes with the energy of the piece, and you just start going faster and faster and faster. So if you don't concentrate on that G, then you don't have a nice basis to grow from.
And we believe that in order to play well, that the entire group needs to hear that one G. And only then can we play together. Rather than focusing as playing as individuals, we all recognize that each beat that we make is like a thread in the song. And in order to make that song, every thread has to be in place. Otherwise, it's kind of like you have this funky material. So, we're running on good time here, so we're gonna actually. Okay, we'd like to thank the participants. I know it's kind of short, but there's some other things that we'd like to do. So, thank you so much.
Actually, is there anyone who didn't participate? Because it looks like there's a lot of people here.
That would like to?
So,
You can do it again.
we'd like to do it again? Yeah. Why don't we do it again this time? I mean, even if you have to.
Maybe we'll go at it faster. So those who are up to the challenge.
Yeah, actually, why don't you just fill up the Taiko? I mean, even if we got it again, this time we'll do it a little different.
One thing we forgot to mention, what we do, again, everybody else can do, have their own style and their type of play. But normally, just like in Zazen, we try to keep our back straight when we're sitting down, or actually when we're doing anything. Even if we're standing, we keep our back straight. If we're sitting, again, keep our back straight when we're playing.
One more thing too is we believe that the best sound comes from the center. Although many groups actually use different parts of the drum, which is fine.
For our group, a different sound around the edges, but
To get the best sound for like G is we hit the center of the drum. So if you notice, a lot of our drums have this. I'm sure yours do too. But we have this fine circle in the center of the drum because we kind of we really encourage the members to hit the center.
Question?
Yes.
My sticks were bouncing a little bit. How do you keep them from rebound, kind of double?
The way our group controls it is, well, that goes back to how you hold your bachi, really. But we use a combination of our wrists and our arms, whereas we believe the wrist really gives that momentum as the bounce.
Especially the quieter beats, it's more difficult.
Right. Especially the quieter beats, our group we focus on just using, rather than letting it bounce so much, and the arm as well. That gives, well, we believe it gives some control over that. So. That's something you just develop, with yourself, changing the way you hold your bachi. There's so many different ways, so many different styles. And it's what works best for you and works best for your group, because your group needs to have that uniformity too. So you have to kind of think about that too.
Yeah, and actually the shimen, I know you're playing the Taiko, but the shimen, when it's tightened, don't fight it, especially when you're doing big movements, you use that energy as the motion. You don't fight it, you just guide it up, and then just nothing down. So,
You do have to change, depending on the skin and the bounce, you do have to change the way you hold your bachi or how much arm you put into it. You make those adjustments yourself.
because I know I used to fight it, especially, on the Shume Taiko. You concentrate so much on the down movement, but that's only, one-tenth of the movement. This is very quick, but the rest is the majority of the time. So you really have to focus on the up movement rather than the down.
Sometimes also with the way you hit, whether you're hitting down into it and letting it take it, it produces a different sound. So again, what kind of sound you want to make, and the way you hit, whether you just focus on hitting down or let it bounce up.
Okay, so we'll do another maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes of G practice, and this will be a little bit faster. Okay, but pay really close attention to the kane. Kane. Who will keep the, okay, I'm all looking at you, where is it? Who will keep the timing. He will listen to me, and from here, you guys all should really focus on that one sound. Try to make it sound like one drum, not 20 drums. Okay?
Do you notice how Judy was instructing the wave? Vivian plays tapon, tapon, tapon 3 times. So since you guys watched before, maybe when you have to listen for that. And then when you do, you start going down and then playing really quiet. Actually, playing quiet is almost harder or as hard as playing loud. Playing quiet and controlling the movement. That's when you really get the double bounces.
And then when you're playing loud, most people have a tendency to speed up. You just want to go all out and everything, but that, again, it requires a little bit of control. When you're really quiet, you want to make sure you're still on beat and not slowing down. Or just not playing even. It requires a lot of control.
So look for the signal to go down. And then when you're quiet, when it sounds good together, then Vivian will give the cue to up, and that's a single.
short performance for you. So, we're going to set up just a second. Introduce the kids to you. We'll have them introduce themselves one at a time, say their age and number of years ago.
My name is Travis Okita. I'm 20 and I've been playing in Zendeco for 7 years.
I'm David Campos. I've been playing Taiko for 9 years. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm 14 and I've been playing for 9 years.
I'm Hana. Speak up. Hana Gravel, and I'm about to be 16, and I've been playing for about 7 years.
I'm Toby Stacy. I'm 16 and I've been playing for almost 10 years.
I'm Kate Shimizu. I'm 14 and I've been playing for 4 years.
I'm Irene Miyashiro. I've been playing about 10 years. Oh, I'm Irene Teen.
I'm Autumn Hara. I've been playing for about 6 years, and I'm 19.
My name is Yusuke Tajima. I'm 18 and I've been playing for 10 years.
I'm Joey Sato. I'm 14 and I've been playing for 7 years.
Warren.
Ages.
Been playing about 5 years.
And we have one more.
Oh,
The oldest one.
He's the oldest. And I think we mentioned the name earlier, so you can have a guess. And one more person.
Doug Seki.
He's actually one of the original members of Zendeco as well, with me and Judy. And he's my brother. And I'm 25, 13 years. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 26, I'll be 27 this year, and I've been playing for 13 years. And, no, I'm just kidding. He's 25. Okay, and we'll go ahead and start with that performance. Oh, let's start with... Oh, yeah, that's you.
we're going to be performing 3 pieces. The first one is Sendai Kobayashi, and this was a piece written for us by one of the members of Omikotan. And then we're going to go into Hachijo and an Asa. It's kind of a medley that we've combined the two.
Once again, the Hachijo and Asa are actually folk songs, but this is like the way we were taught by Oniza, and this is their interpretation of the folk songs. So if some of you are aware of these songs, you might have learned them differently, but this is our variation of it, so enjoy. we still have quite some time, so if we don't have any more questions, maybe we could do something. So, we'd like to open it up for Q&A. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. If you want to ask any of the individuals some questions, go ahead too, that's fine. No?
You said attrition was about 50% last week. Is that about what you experienced?
I'm sorry, the screening out process, you mean?
Oh, I thought you just said they quit. I don't know. Oh, you said you had 8, now you have 4.
Actually, yeah, some of the individuals who were in the original child group, they were, gosh, it's a tough one. The staff discusses it's really on an individual basis, depending on case by case, yeah. Depending on the individual's attitude, their interest level, and so forth. And some of them just we didn't feel that they were going to be progressing any further. So we did end up narrowing it down to 4.
I'd like to see my favorite one where you do the sit-ups on the. You guys work out, do you have a training program, or do you have a nutrition program?
Our idea of the snack is cookies and Coke.
You mentioned
The past 2 days.
Cookies every night.
I'm doing great things.
Sometimes we do sit-ups and push-ups and we try to get their stomach.
Actually, if I might just add, the way we do practice for Yatabayashi is to actually play it over and over. Because I've learned, I still do running and sit-ups and weights, but when you're playing, usually the stamina you build from playing is different than what you do lifting and stuff. Because when you're exercising, it's just your muscle, but you need to combine your mind with the muscle and also sing the song while it's in your mind, so you have to really integrate the 3. I'm not saying it doesn't help, but what we do is we rotate on these 3 Taikos over and over for like 40 minutes.
Including the girls too. We
Yeah, I
do the
noticed
same
that.
exact things that the guys do. Another thing too that we were taught was when we play, our energy comes from here. I know a lot of groups do concentrate on that kind of, I guess that's like chi, or like your energy, where it's coming from. And we believe it comes from, also from the ground.
Even when we're playing Schumann, we say that you're playing, really comes from here.
Who teaches the newcomers?
As well as the older members too. Yeah.
Do you do auditions?
Well,
The way we do is sometimes we have a workshop here, invite a lot of kids from all over this community. And then we give them sign. And then we have like a tryout session starting. And then,
well, most of the kids have never played before.
yeah.
They can't.
Beginning? Just the beginning?
Actually, no.
Yeah,
We encourage them.
We encourage parents to be here at least a whole tryout session, which is 6 months. Yeah, the parents have to see what kind of a training we have here, and
Even thereafter too, a lot of our parents actually help out. They provide like nutritious cookies and and they also we have them bring flowers for the temple too. All the flowers that you see at the statues, our group is in charge of those the offering of the flowers.
Basically, pay respect to the church since we're using it.
and then also when we have our home festival for Mochitsuki before New Year comes and all that, parents will participate in that and help the church.
It's really a family activity in a sense.
Does it lead to some problems, and does a child drop out because their parent is not there sometimes? I mean, do you face problems like that? It's not the child's fault, maybe it's the parent's fault, or if they're a single parent?
For example, this last, well, I don't really mean to specifically point out, but we had a family who, the parents were very busy and worked all the time, and they just basically just dropped off their kids here and left. Sometimes wouldn't even come pick up their children.
So you have to take them back, you know.
So we ended up
Yeah,
having to
we
tell
do
the
that.
parents that this is not a babysitting type of activity. It's really important for them to be actively involved in their child's growth. You know, as a school, you know, that's what progress reports are for and so forth. But I think by them watching, they can also see their child, you know, and see if this is the right thing for their child. Because it is very intensive. I mean, we even have little David, and we have one more liming. We have him do stomach crunches with us, and for some parents, they might not want their children at that age to start that type of strenuous activity. So hence we ask them to be involved.
What I was getting to is like if the child is, if a young person is good and has a desire to play, but their parent really doesn't show help, then have you ever had a problem?
Not recently, but when we do go through the trial period of 6 months, we kind of tell the parents it's a mutual relationship. Meaning it's
So
not,
they understand clearly.
yeah, it's not just the person trying out, it's the parents having to do that dedication. Actually, the parents are a really big support for our group.
I can see that.
When the members develop, knowing that, you know, their parents fully support them, I think it really grounds them in terms of their playing as well as in terms of well-being, you know, so we really encourage that. I think
We
that's,
don't just drop them off, I mean,
No,
we
I
don't just
understand
drop
what you're
them
saying.
off.
I think what he's saying is that if the parent doesn't have the time to be
Yeah.
here, but the child really shows an interest, the child really does well, what happens in that?
Or have you ever faced that?
Well,
situation?
personally, my mother, she's a single parent. Only child of a parent. And she was constantly working. But, I mean, I found myself, you know, she found herself, I think, just making that time, making an important thing a priority to have me play since I loved it so much. So I think it's a family
Hand in hand,
decision,
yeah,
you
you're
know,
right.
whether you can or you can't. I know some activities I couldn't do because we just didn't have the time. My mother couldn't take me or whatever the case was. So it's really a family decision. I think we just try to emphasize that the parent should be there to go through the child.